Ever heard someone say running will wear your knees out? Or I ran so much when I was younger and now my knees are paying the price. This is something I've heard countless times working as a physio for those over 55. So today I want to bust some myths and then tell you the facts about running and knee health and how you can get started safely. First, let's talk about the idea that running is bad for your knees. This is rooted in the idea that our joints are like car parts and they wear out over time with more and more use. But the truth is our joints are anti-fragile. They actually repair and adapt to stress over time. But let's back that up with science. A 2018 study compared the knee arthritis rates in active marathon runners and the general population. And by the way, this included people over the age of 55. Now, you'd think that all of that pavement pounding that you're doing in a marathon would wear your knees out, right? Well, interestingly, they found that the marathon runners had less knee arthritis rates. In fact, it was half the rate of the general population. Another study compared non-runners with recreational runners, and it found that recreational runners had lower knee arthritis rates, just 3 in every 100, compared to non-runners who were 10 in every 100. The takeaway is that doing some running seems to be better for your knees than doing no running. And the benefits don't just stop at your knees. Data from a collection of studies showed that runners have a 27% lower risk of all-cause mortality, a 30% lower risk of cardiovascular disease, and a 23% lower risk of cancer mortality. Okay, you might be thinking, that sounds great, but how do I actually start? Well, I'm going to give you my top physio tips for getting into running, especially if it's been a while. Tip number 1 is to start low and go slow. So when you are first starting running, just take it easy. You don't have to break any records when you're first starting out. So make sure you go at a pace which is very tolerable for you, and also reduce the total amount of time that you're running for. So rather than breaking out and starting with a 30-minute run, you might pull that back to 10 to 15 minutes. And over time, you can slowly increase the total volume or total minutes that you're running in each session. You can also try breaking your running up with intervals. This is a great strategy when you first get started. Here's a really good example from the well-known Couch to 5K program. So as you can see, in week 1 of this program, they start with a brisk 5-minute warm-up walk, then alternate 60 seconds of jogging and 90 seconds of walking for a total 20-minute workout. And in week 2 of the program, they start with a brisk 5-minute warm-up walk. Then instead of the 60 seconds of jogging, they actually increase that to 90 seconds of jogging, alternating with 2 minutes of walking for a total of 20 minutes. Tip number 2 is to have a plan. Programs like the Couch to 5K, which we just mentioned, are a great place to start. They help you build up slowly and then gradually progress over time. Alternatively, you could join your local park run or maybe even go to a local running club for some help on how to get started. Having people around you who know what they're doing and who have done lots of running before are great resources. Tip number 3 is to be mindful of your pain levels. If you do get pain during or after a run, this may be your body simply responding to a new stress. There's no need to stop running completely. Instead, adjust your running by using the tips we've talked about, such as adjusting the total time that you're running for and using the walking running intervals. So to summarize, running isn't inherently bad for your knees. In fact, it can make them more robust and keep you healthier in the long run. And it's never too late to start. Lace up those shoes and remember to start low, go slow.